past, fatal heart impact, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful laws and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver excuse, I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here. And now, whenever we last left off, we had Izuku Midoriya. He has competed in multiple Tenkaichi tournaments. In fact, there is another one coming up just after winter is over. And he is at the age of currently 16 and a half. Now, Midoriya's power level is at 15 billion. And currently today, we do have a cold winter's night. As it is snowing outside, Midoriya and everyone, Vados included, are actually sitting underneath a kotatsu, a Japanese heating table. Basically what you would typically see in anime. Anyways, now, they are all eating a large portion of food. As Vados is actually telling Midoriya that his training, he's possibly beginning to hit a wall. I don't think so, Vados. What do you mean? Well, I've done a lot of spiritual training and a lot of physical training. I think it's a matter of the fact that I just need to keep going. It's just, there's a limit there, right? That is what I'm saying, yes. Well then, I guess I'll just have to break through that limit. Now, as he does say that, Momo actually does smile a little bit. She's actually seen Midoriya take a bit more pride in himself, begin to embrace his ideas that she thought he would not embrace. In fact, he's taken to it like a fish to water. Now, Mina actually does get finished with her food, before trying to slide in a bit more underneath the heating blanket, stating that she still doesn't understand what this thing really does, but she understands that it's really cool. Midoriya telling her to watch out for the heating element, otherwise she might hurt herself. Her barely even listening, as she accidentally touches it and almost throws herself out from underneath it. Now, with all that being said, somewhere on the other side of the galaxy, we do have Inko and Hisashi. Both of them have finally taken down the last base for the evil Saiyans, and have fought a tough battle against another opponent, the Saiyan they fought against when Ozaru, and the supervillain multiplier along with the Ozaru multiplier. That was not an easy battle. The two fought intensely before they had to retreat, their injuries being critical as they destroyed the barren planet. Now, with all of that being said, the Saiyans, they finally are able to announce this war at an end. They have won. This 1,000-year-long battle is finally over. And in fact, they can properly try and rebuild. Now, many different Saiyans, they are quite impressed. Hisashi and Inko, after they are healed up, they are told that they can now do whatever they want. The king has given them the authority to leave the army, or stay upon its ranks. Now, after talking with the king, he does understand their current situation. They did not want to, or they didn't have to, help with the war, but they did as promised and ended it for them. and he is very thankful to that. Now, he does have a proposition to make one of them his Grand Advisor. Basically, Grand Vizier Nappa, you could say, to anyone who does not know what that means. Now, both of them respectfully decline the offer, and state that they do want to go check up on their son, asking if he would like a status update about his daughter. The man actually saying yes, as he does sit back down on his throne, tired and looking down at his hands. He can already feel that with the current way the power is, those two far outrank him, along with many of his own men now. These Saiyans, they, over this course of 2 years, have all taken on great Zenkais. Every Saiyan that has fought a battle on the planet is not underneath 10 million in terms of power. Meanwhile, the king, who's been forced to the sidelines, is still at a steady 30 million. Or not 30 million, 30,000, I want to say. He has tried to join in on battles from time to time, but even then I wouldn't put him above 300,000. Now, with that, Hisashi and Inko do pop into Midoriya's house. As Midoriya, today, he is quite surprised, immediately feeling power levels that he does not recognize. As soon as he does actually walk out of his room and get ready to fight, there he does see his mom and dad, before looking quite surprised. What the hell? Now, Midoriya does actually rush them and give them both a hug, asking exactly what are they doing here. King Kai didn't tell you? King Kai doesn't tell me anything. We finally did it. We were able to take them all down. And where's Momo? Hang on. Midoriya walking over and knocking on a door. Both these two still looking around a bit more, confused as to where they are. Zuku, where are we? Oh, we're on Earth. Huh. Yeah, this place does feel kind of weird, right? You got that right. Now, as those two are looking around, Momo does eventually answer the door. Midoriya then pointing that his parents have shown back up. And she's immediately awake and alert. Now, she goes on asking them about the war efforts, them answering that it's finally over. As soon as she hears those words, she throws herself towards Izuku and asks him to use instant transmission. Let her go see her father. Midoriya bringing his hands up and putting them towards his head, as he instantly disappears. Hisashi and Inko still quite surprised about that. Those two've gotten a little bit more close. Hopefully we don't hear a baby start crying. Huh. Oh, please. I don't think that they're at that point yet. Are you sure? They have known each other since they were younger. Yeah, but still. Damn. Maybe we should get some sleep. Perhaps you're right. Now, both these two, they do take showers. And Vados, she actually does create clothing for them. After these two do change into them, they crash on the couch. Immediately out like a light. Meanwhile, over with Midoriya. As these two travel across the universe, they eventually do pop back onto the Saiyan homeworld. And, well, Momo is quite intrigued as to what's currently happening. As soon as she does rush over to the palace to see her father and land there, he's surprised to see her. her giving her father a hug as she asked questions about what happened. Midoriya eventually walking up, and the king seeing this young boy. As soon as the king does see Midoriya, he's actually taken aback. He can feel Midoriya's hidden power. He knows that there's something more hiding within that boy, even though Midoriya is currently suppressing himself. Now, as that does go on, the king basically informs his daughter about everything, and that, most likely, the emperor may try and reach out soon. Now, Midoriya tells the king to simply just reject his offer. Do not let him fall into the wrong hands with that man. He's pure evil and he'll just use the Saiyans for what, well, the other ones wanted. Just to fight and destroy. The king agreeing, stating that they would have better luck on their own, or most likely with galactic patrolmen. The galactic what? The galactic patrol. In fact, they are sort of what? Well, what's the best way to say it? They're Boy Scouts. They try and do everything by a certain book they have wrote. And whenever that does not work out for them, they throw a bit of a hissy fit. Now, the King of Saiyans does actually explain that the Galactic Patrolmen, they stay on the verge of the Emperor's empire. Basically, the known universe to him. Meaning that they try and stay out of his squadrons, or parts of the universe. He rules over parts of the East Squadron and the West Squadrons. However, they do participate in some parts of the South and North. Now, basically they are somewhat scattered and spread too thin. Him, then, calling them incompetent for their tactical ideas. Now, with all of that, they do leave. And the Saiyans, they begin to rebuild their own civilization. As the invitation they were supposed to receive, it does not arrive. In fact, that is the odd thing. They expected that invitation to arrive 1 week later, as they were still rebuilding. The perfect time to swoop in and try and pick up the Saiyan forces as allies. However, it did not arrive. And we will cut to 6 months later. Midoriya still trying to train harder and get stronger. Now, over the course of 6 months, places within the East Squadron, or the East part of the universe, East Galaxy, I believe it's called, planets begin to disappear, along with entire solar systems. This not really getting a lot of attention. Up until East Kai begins to realize how many have actually gone missing. And it then just gets worse and worse and worse. Now, with all of that being said, this is whenever the evil threat the Midoriya is supposed to be facing has finally bared its fangs. And East Kai reached out for help, wanting to know if this is Beerus' doing. However, Beerus is confirmed to still be asleep by King Kai himself. And King Kai actually does try to reach out. Now, after reaching out, To Midoriya, you do have him currently training, battling against both of his parents as he's trying to keep up with their movements. They've both actually begun to catch up quite fast, and Midoriya is having quite a bit of trouble. Now, as this is all happening, as soon as Midoriya does go on the offensive, King Kai does begin to talk. Midoriya being surprised as he gets sucker punched across his face. Hisashi sending him flying roughly 1,000 feet into the distance. Before Midoriya just gets back up and asks King Kai exactly what is it, as he tries to nurse his face. There's a problem. What problem? It's something in the universe. Something that's destroying the East Galaxy. There's an East Galaxy? Yes. There's 4. But that's not important right now. What's important is making sure that the galaxy isn't completely destroyed. Now, after hearing about all this, they do actually begin to talk, wanting to confirm a bit more about this threat. Inko and Hisashi exclaiming that they can go first. If they're able to take it down, then there won't be any need for Midoriya to get involved. Vados actually stating that Midoriya is supposed to be the next God of Destruction. Them retaliating and saying that Midoriya will be no such thing. Now, after that is said, a bit of arguments do ensue. They do happen. And this is where they all do leave, beginning to try and track down this madman's rampage. Now, after tracking down parts of the galaxy that were destroyed, they begin to look at what happened. And it's quite odd. Midoriya is seeing this raw destruction power. There's floating space rocks and even parts of dust. Giant things moving in every direction. Vados exclaiming that this is the power of destruction. Pure and simple. However, it is reckless, not controlled. You are not supposed to eliminate an entire galaxy, let alone a solar system. You are supposed to wait. You are supposed to decide which ones are either too weak, too dangerous, or upset the natural balance. Now, with that, Midoriya does actually listen in on that question. Before, he actually does just look away for a second, thinking, he's supposed to do all of this too. Damn it. Maybe Midoriya think that he should really drop the training. However, you actually do have Momo, who does actually try and grab him by his hand. Her being able to curl a finger around one of Midoriya's. Midoriya quickly looking out over at her, as she actually does just give him a light smile and a nod. Midoriya, he just nods back, understanding that things might be okay. Now, as that did happen, they begin to try and scour the East Galaxy and find this threat. And eventually they do come face to face with it. On a planet where he is currently just using his sword and trying to slash away at and destroy many different things. And Midoriya, him and everyone are all quite surprised. Now, they do watch as this villain, this mysterious foe, a man with red to purplish skin, a symbol on his head. Inko and Hisashi recognizing this as a time breaker, or an old nickname they used to call them, which, well, I can't really think of right now. No. They do actually watch this thing as it does begin to power up. The power level beginning to surprise everyone, as Hisashi actually has power up himself, immediately jumping to Kaioken times 40, his power level being 520 billion. Now, he then rushes and goes on the offensive. Meanwhile, I do believe that will be a good point to leave this off of, and I do hope you guys enjoyed. Have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys in the next part.